When it comes to planting a fall vegetable garden, the time to sow those seeds here in Oklahoma is from the middle part of July through the month of August. Now, with the extremely hot weather that we've been having and the dry, lack of rain kind of days we've been experiencing, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get these seeds to germinate. And that's because the temperature on a uncovered or bare soil out in full sun on a hot sunny day can be up to about 140 degrees, and that's way too hot for those seeds to germinate. So we're going to look at a few modifications and techniques to try to create a cooler and moister environment for the seeds. Now, one of the things we're going to do is try to get the seeds away from that really hot surface. So we're going to plant in these trenches. And I've just taken the little hand tool here, little hand hoe, and we've created a trench about probably 2, maybe 3 inches deep. And again, we're getting down away from the hot soil surface. Well, I've got some radishes and some turnips here that we're going to be sowing. So we're going to just kind of spread those out in the trench here. We'll come back later when they germinate, and we'll thin those out. And the radishes recommend a planting depth of a 1/2 inch. Well, that's fine for the springtime, but here in the summer, I'm going to take some compost here, cover the seeds. We're going to go quite a bit deeper. We're going to go about 3/4 to nearly 1 inch deep with this nice compost. And this compost will help hold in some moisture as well. So we'll bury those seeds here. Get lots of compost on there. You could also use some really fine soil or maybe some peat moss or something like that, something else that's going to hold the moisture in really, really well. Come back here with a watering can and water those in. And again, planting those a little bit deeper, it's going to hold in a little bit more moisture. Now, the trench itself is going to hold in moisture as well and help keep the seeds a little bit cooler. Now, another thing you can do before you plant is to purchase your seeds a little bit ahead of time and keep them in the refrigerator. Get a good chilling period for those seeds for about a week or several days before you plant them out in this really warm weather. That will help them germinate as well. Now, right over here, I've got an example of the way we plant in the springtime. In the springtime, the soil is cooler. We're usually getting a lot more rain, so we sort of berm up the soil like this. Now, especially with our cucurbits and our cucumbers, our pumpkins, our squash and things like that, we'll make these little mounds. And again, this is to warm up the soil in the springtime. We definitely don't need to do this here in the late summer. And I've got some cucumbers right over here, and we're going to just go the opposite. We're just going to take these, and we're going to do a few here in the center. We can thin those out later on, but we're going to take our finger and just poke those in about 1 inch, 1.5 inches deep, just right here on the soil bed. We don't have to put those up on a berm here in the summertime. Again, getting the soil, getting the seeds into a cooler spot is what we want to do. Now, one other thing you can do to help keep the seeds cooler is to mulch the area, and some sort of light colored mulch will work even better. This is grass clippings, and right now they're kind of green and dark, but I think everybody knows what happens to grass clippings after they sit out for a while. They turn sort of a grayish silvery, maybe kind of a tannish color, and that light color will help keep the soil cool because it will reflect a lot of that light, a lot of that solar radiation and heat. So we're going to mulch along the sides of our row. So we're doing all we can to create, again, that cooler soil, that cooler area and moisture area for those seeds to germinate. So once that dries out, it'll kind of create that silvery color and reflect a lot of that light. But that's not all we're going to do. We've got one more trick. seems to really work here at our studio garden that we employ to get our seeds to germinate here in the hot part of the summer. We're going to give them a little bit of shade. And I've got some bamboo stakes stuck in the ground here and a little bit of wire. And we're just going to make a little shade structure for our seeds. Now you can use burlap, you can use landscape fabric, maybe some old sheets or something like that would also work well. Well, once again, we're using burlap, but any type of shading material will work. Landscape fabric, old sheets, blankets, pretty much anything that you can use to create a little bit of shade. And I'm attaching it with wire here to these stakes, and you want to make sure you get it really tight so the wind doesn't catch it and blow it off. But if you have long rows of seeds that you're trying to get to germinate, you could definitely do several stakes or just sticks and roll out the burlap or landscape fabric and shade the entire rows to keep that soil cool and get those seeds to germinate. Now, vegetables that are harvested in the fall are sometimes a lot tastier than those in the spring because the temperatures are getting cooler as those vegetables are ripening and they store a few more sugar, so they taste a little bit better.